Good morning and welcome to Primend seminar on PowerApps and Power Platform in general. Today we will, together with Kevin, will talk about PowerApps, what PowerApps is, and explain how PowerApps works with other Power Platform products together, and also together with all other Microsoft products that make this Microsoft infrastructure. And first, I will explain this theoretical part and what are the problems that Power Platform tries to solve. And in the second part of our today's seminar, Kevin will show you how you can build these Power Apps from scratch, and if you need to customize, what are the possibilities there. And we will also show you how different Power Platform products are interconnected and how you can make those work together. So this is what we plan to do today. So let's get started. First, a little bit about Primend or Primant. So in Primend, we think that people need a little help of IT to make their companies more successful. IT opens up new opportunities to make those companies more effective, more efficient. And the new technologies always open up new opportunities, and sometimes those new opportunities are hard to understand. And one thing that we do here is that we look at new opportunities and try to find out what are those key features in those new technologies that help to make companies more efficient, more effective. And we work together with people in those companies to implement those new technologies to improve our life. And sometimes these things that we are doing are not for profit, and sometimes it's even like we pay ourselves to make the change happen. One of those examples is our project in Eastern Estonia, and one of those central hospitals where they were running and are still running a research project into rehabilitation of stroke patients and how to involve family members in rehabilitation process, as this family environment usually helps the stroke patients to come faster out of those like these bad medical situations. But the family members need advice and need some ways to communicate with doctors, and now they are researching how this using of tablets and this communication solutions help to rehabilitate those stroke patients. So this is a very fun project. Another fun project from last year where we also have used Power Platform products was a project during this COVID pandemic, which is still ongoing, but at that time it was quite new, and World Rally Championship wanted to hold a rally in Estonia, and there was in a hurry needed a solution to test those team members that Synlab provided, but they also needed a reporting solution that would be secure but still available to those teams. And we helped to build on Azure platform this reporting solution using Azure services and Power Platform services, and also a registration for patients on Power Platform. So it's different solutions that took advantage of very rapid development cycles in Power Platform. And another not-for-profit project that we last year did was helping our customers and everyone who took time to look at our web page, how to a project helping using those remote work solutions. So when this COVID pandemic started, in a week we created tens of videos on how to use different functionalities of Teams for remote work, and these videos have been very popular in Estonia as well as in Latvia. In Lithuania, unfortunately, we were not present yet. Now we have a team in Lithuania also, and I think very soon they will create a set of Teams videos also, so that we can help companies and people in all Baltic states in our home market. And this Teams site is still very popular, and if you have any questions about how to use Teams for remote work and communication within your company, then feel free to go there to that page and watch those videos. And we are from time to time updating those, because these Teams products are evolving still quite rapidly, and sometimes those interfaces change, so we need to change those videos or update those videos to show updated user interfaces. Otherwise, if we show you some button or something and it isn't there, then it doesn't help much. So this is our vision, that we help organizations to improve through knowledge, and we want to research new technologies to be one step ahead and to be guiding our customers to new efficiencies and new capabilities. So this is what Primend is. And today's seminar is presented by, I have still some slides here, so which I forgot. Sorry about that. So, and how do you tell about that? So I think we are the best Microsoft specialist in Baltics. We have, I think, about 10 gold competencies in different Microsoft technologies, starting from infrastructure part like cloud platform and cloud productivity, to data services like application development and data analytics and stuff. So, and collaboration and content management. Collaboration and content management means SharePoint. So if you need some very good SharePoint specialists, then we are also very experienced in SharePoint platforms, mostly in cloud, because we see that all systems are going to cloud, and we are trying not to do on-prem projects anymore, but some customers still have security requirements where they need on-prem systems, so that we still develop and support on-prem also, but our our focus is on cloud. And these are our competence areas, starting from infrastructure to security to internal information sharing to different data services. So it's like a whole set of different services, but we still understand that we do not know everything. We don't have capability to do everything in IT, and we are also working very closely with a lot of other IT companies who have more knowledge in some specific area, like some security products or networking products or software development. So we're working very closely with all those partners to provide more complete set of services to our customers. So I'm Toomas Mõttus. I introduced myself at the start, but just to show you that I know something about the stuff that I'm talking about. I'm about certified also, and I checked that I think I did my first Microsoft certification exam in 1997 or 1998. It was before Kevin was born. So it's funny in that sense. But Kevin is also a certified Power Platform specialist, as he's so young yet, then he doesn't have that complete set of certifications as I do, but he's very good in Power Platform and he certainly has more experience than I do. So this is great. And talking about why this Power Platform is important in our environment right now is that this is like a very nice slide that I have been showing for I don't know how many years, because it still explains what's happening. And what we're seeing still is that the amount of devices where we are using IT or consuming IT, this is growing rapidly. And those large companies like Facebook and Google, they have nice applications on all those platforms that those like users can access and post their information and like and whatever they're doing there. And these medium-sized and even small enterprises haven't had any like easy tools to create applications fast and for many different platforms at once. And here I see that this Power Platform, Power BI, Power App, Power Automate help those medium-sized organizations also create rapidly applications that they can use on all platforms, on all devices, and enable people to interact with their organization more. And we are seeing rapid uptake in these technologies as companies need to work more remotely than they used to. So we're still seeing change, and very rapid change in how people are working and how they want to work. So this is a very fun time to live and to IT projects at this point. And talking about those like challenges that businesses have, then although this budget challenge isn't as tough as everyone feared it was, because we are seeing quite good economic growth through Baltics this year. I think Estonia is the fastest growing market, and next year, according to different predictions, Latvia will be growing very rapidly. So from that point of view, these budget constraints are not maybe that big, but if you're looking at how you can allocate that budget there and how you can make the most return on that budget that you have, there we still see that these PowerApps, Power Platform services enable you to build applications faster with less costs, and therefore you can use less budget and do more stuff. So it's anyways, I think these budget constraints are good for Power Platform uptake, and they can be done faster and more varied. These processes can be supported, and we're also seeing a lot of demand in going paperless. One of those here, I think. Okay, paperless, as many offices have like moved to remote work, and the paper processes that were popular before this remote work just do not work that well anymore. So companies are moving from paper processes to digitized processes, and here is PowerApp is a very good platform to build those sometimes quite simple processes very rapidly and get this stuff working in a couple of weeks. And this is great for even for small companies. And when you're building those small applications, you don't need to have very deep technical skills. In demo section, Kevin will show you how you can, like in a couple of clicks, just build this application for mobile use. And every person who knows how to use keyboard and mouse probably should be able to create this PowerApp in no time. And afterwards, he will also show you how to make it in a more complex way. But still, if you need to do some very little business process support application, then it's like you can do it in no time. And another reason why we are seeing this Power Platform uptake is a number of cloud services that companies are using. So there are like hundreds of cloud services nowadays. If you look back like a couple of years, then like 10 years or even more, then companies usually had one ERP solution. Maybe they had some other central solution for some other stuff, and it was like making connections between one or two systems to get data synchronized and reports. Then now we're seeing that companies use tens of services from cloud. Everyone has their own API interface, and it takes a lot of time to custom build those API interfaces. And Power Platform has connection to hundreds of different those APIs out of the box. And if you are using some small service that isn't in that list, you can build that connector yourself and enable those data entries and stuff yourself, and other people in your organization can reuse those connectors. So from that perspective, it's already powerful out of the box. It's quite easy to use out of the box, and if necessary, you can extend it. So and reuse those like connectors that you have created, and rapidly develop applications that use hundreds of or tens, I don't know how many you want to put services you want to put into one application. Usually it's like 3 to 10, not more, but very often you already have ready-made connectors to those services. So it's more like about configuration than building it from scratch. And as you saw that Microsoft, this market is changing, and Microsoft has a research paper from IDC that says that in next 5 years, more than 500 million new applications will be built. Many of those applications are in-house, not like public applications, but it's still more apps than was built in like last 40 years. So those Power Platform tools will enable hundreds of millions of apps to be built faster by users that don't have deep technical knowledge, and so that you can build your like this business process support. You can start building it by yourself, basically, even if you are not IT person. And as this workflow becomes more complex, you can hire someone like Kevin who can do it in a more complex way, more integrated way. But yeah, but you can start small and build very rapidly. And so, as it's from that slide, you understand, that slide is meant to explain that with big budgets, you can build a small amount of apps, and the most majority of apps require low code, small budgets, and so if you don't have that much budget, then PowerApps low code development is your way to go. You can build it fast and start using it. And afterwards, I will also tell about Power Platform licensing, because it isn't for free. But the good thing with Power Platform is that there is a lot of functionality already included out of the box, and you start paying for it as you go. So, for example, you have like one user at first who is developing. You have to pay only one user license. Then you add additional users, and you just add those users. So you can start small, and as your business grows, as the value from that solution grows, you start paying more. But it's easy to start, and there is no big initial investment required. And another thing with those like large applications is that if your development cycle is very big, long, then by the time you have first release out of doors, then it's already like outdated and requirements have changed. So the faster you can develop, the faster you can respond to market changes, respond to customer requirements changes. So the value is a lot better. And I have mentioned these Power Platform products already. I will go through them now. So the most well-known of those Power Platform products, of course, is Power BI, because it has been on the market the longest. And it's a very good visualization for reports and also data integration services. Then we have PowerApps, which is like main topic today, to very rapidly build applications, start from small and go to very complex applications. Then we have Power Automate for robotics, software robotics, so sometimes it's called. So it's like a robot doing for you something. It's just all in software. And then we have Power Virtual Agents, which is AI components for background jobs in all those Power Platform products. And talking about those background things, then we also have data connectors. As I said, we have hundreds of them in Power Platform. I have a different slide about those connectors also. Then we have a portal service that you can use to publish those applications, so that you don't have to build those user interfaces from scratch. You have AI Builder, where you can build document models for document recognition and stuff. And then you have Dataverse, which is a central data or table repository where you can use Dataverse data in Power BI, in PowerApps, in Power Automate to store it there, to read from it. And Dataverse also has capabilities for synchronization of different SQL servers, so that you can use Power Apps to build Dataverse, like those interfaces, and Dataverse will afterwards synchronize data between different databases that you are using maybe online or like which PowerApps doesn't have to connect directly to. So this is a very good service for that. And we here on this slide, I have a picture from some time ago where there was like 350 plus connectors. I think nowadays it's at least 500 plus connectors. And you can also say that it's like thousands of connectors, because most of those connectors have more than one activity associated. So if you, for example, take the first one here in Excel, then you can read that data, update data, and store data, and different convert data. So you have like a lot of activities there. So those services, most of them have more than 4 or 5 activities that you can associate with those. So this is like a very good set of like capabilities where you don't have to program those interfaces yourself. You can just take and reuse those interfaces in different PowerApps, and for example, for reading purposes, you can show to your colleagues that they can take data from there and update it. So it's very hard to explain in words. You have to go and try it yourself. And so, but I think Kevin will afterwards show you how this interface looks in Power Automate and how those connectors look like. So.
Yeah.
And here's a little explanation how this low-code or rapid development is different from traditional development. And I think the most important step or feature here is this time to live. As we are living in an era where it's like very rapid changes in business requirements right now. And the faster you can build those applications and start getting value from those applications is very important. And I think it was IDC research from a couple of years before. And there was like question of what do people think is like the most important thing that IT should provide, or what don't IT people understand? And there was like questions like people usually think that it's like IT doesn't understand what business people want, or IT doesn't provide some kind of infrastructure or something like that. But the most thing that people were most unsatisfied was that IT was slow to react to business changes and to business requirements. And here I think this low-code development definitely is a way to improve that speed of response time. And so I think this is the most important or most relevant value from here. So what did I do now? I think I used 3-finger. And all those PowerApps, Power Automate, Power BI services are integrated in the sense that PowerApps can act on data in Power BI. We will show it later how it works. We will also, and Power BI can analyze the data that PowerApps generates. Power Automate can be integrated into Power BI, and so on and so forth. So all those products are interconnected, and you can build pretty fancy applications using those low-code, fast development capabilities. And this integration improves user experience, as it's all in like one, like I would say, one way how things are built. As the main beef I have with those services nowadays is that they are in so rapid development that sometimes when you are building a new application or a new dashboard, or want to do a new Power Automate flow, then some buttons have changed location, and so you have like in your hand like this movement how you can do the next thing, and it behaves a little bit differently. So it's but it maybe it's just that I'm becoming lower, old, so it's probably not a problem for Kevin. Okay, with this application development, we cannot forget about security and corporate requirements. And here, Power Platform is integrated into Microsoft 365 platform, where you have a Active Directory, user authentication. You have all those logging and auditing capabilities are what are in Microsoft 365 platform. You can use this compliance center to create alerts based on this data from PowerApps. So, and Power Platform. So this is like integrated into this framework of security that Microsoft has built on Microsoft 365 platform. So this security part is a headache usually when you are creating new business applications, and here you have a lot of that functionality already out of the box, and you don't have to like think about how should I make this like user authentication implementation, or how should I create this logging implementation. A lot of that is already taken into account, already solved from beforehand, and that makes building of those business applications also a lot easier for users that do not have much knowledge. And it also makes it, and from a software development perspective also, it makes it easier, because a lot of software developers nowadays do not know how Active Directory works, or how some like storage works, and how they should optimize their application for storage. So this PowerApps platform takes care of all that, and developer can just concentrate on working on support for business processes. And coming to developers, this Power Platform has those nice interfaces where ordinary users can build those applications rapidly. But sometimes when those applications mature, business processes that they need support become more complex. You need some components that have more functionality, or you need to like integrate more backend like those workflows into your applications. Then Power Platform is very well integrated with Azure services and Microsoft other data services, so you can like bring very easily data from the Azure Functions or Synapse Analytics or other services to Power Platform and show it there. So if you want to create this like some Q&A bot and provide answers from Q&A bot to PowerApps users, you can use this one as a backend service for PowerApps. And in Power Automate, you can use Azure Cognitive Services for AI implementations and to present users with like this AI predictions. So you have this all integrated, and all those services are very well integrated into Visual Studio and VS Code also, so that you can, if you want, you can read backend code and write backend code in those products. And what that helps is also that if you want to reuse some code, you can like just copy from one application to another some code, maybe just change the name of some fields, and you are good to go. So it's you can start with easy stuff and go into very deep technical and have very powerful services working in backend. So, to summarize previous slide, you can, as those services are integrated very well in Microsoft platform, you can meet this demand that business has faster. You can do it cheaper because time is money, and you can extend as you want because all these services have very well documented its development, how to say, APIs, so that you can add functionality as you wish, and it's not like restricted in any way. And by using these like Visual Studio tools and even these interface tools, you can reuse the applications you have created, you can reuse the code you have used in those applications. So that also helps to improve setup times. Okay, so faster development, 74% less time for implementation, great. Another thing from security side that I want to tell you about is like Azure Keyboard. Azure Keyboard is a service where you can save securely different keys or API keys to services that you are using for integration. And PowerApps, Power BI, Power Automate, all nowadays support very well this Azure Keyboard, so that you can store those keys you need to access different services in Keyboard. And these keys are provided to workflows at the time when they need it, so that you don't have those API keys or passwords anywhere in your code. You just have these points to Azure Keyboard. And if for some reason in like code reuse or whatever, there's like less risk of data loss and loss of keys. So you should, if you are developing those applications and workflows yourself, I recommend you start using Azure Keyboard, as it adds a new layer of security in case you share your source code with someone and there happens to be some API key within. So I think I have touched that slide already. So the thing is that Microsoft hopes that everyone can, it's so easy that everyone can make an application in PowerApps, make a workflow in Power Automate and create a Power BI report. Kevin will show you how it's done very easily. If you need to customize it, of course, you need additional knowledge and experience.
And Google.
And Google, yeah, and Google. Or Bing.
Yeah.
Sometimes Google is even better in searching Microsoft documentation than Bing. So, yeah. But anyway, so everyone should be able, but it's like, I would say it's a little bit like marketing. So if you need to customize it, it's good to have some experience and knowledge. Otherwise, it's frustrating. So
you have like easy problem, but you spend 10 hours finding the answer.
Yes. Oh, and we have demo time now. So starting from this citizen developer stuff, how easy it is. So I will hand over to Kevin and he will show how easy it is. And if afterwards we have some time, I will also talk about Power Platform pricing and how that works. And I didn't mention at the start, so if you have any questions, feel free to access chat window here and write questions there, and we will answer as we go. And also this session will be recorded, so everyone who has registered will receive afterwards link to this recording.
Yeah, thanks, Thomas. Yeah, let's begin with the fun part. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right.
At least I have it here in my Teams windows.
Yeah, okay. But I'm trying to show you that how easy it is to build the PowerApps, and just a few clicks and then PowerApps is ready to go. So assume that you have some list that you want to build PowerApps
in SharePoint.
In SharePoint, yeah. And I'm gonna make a list from scratch, and I use SharePoint template from Microsoft to make it faster. So you can do that as well if you have some kind of idea, and this idea, goes with some kind of list with this. Let's say you have travel requests, and then you see that this list is okay for you. Need a little bit customizing. And it's ready to go.
So these are like templates that Microsoft has in SharePoint out of the box. So it's quite nice to have those for like those easy stuff that's usually on paper in companies. Now there's like easy to implement lists in SharePoint that you can just go and click and activate and start using.
Yeah. And also it gives you idea. If you go over those templates, it gives you idea what you can do with those SharePoint lists. It shows you all choices or whatever. And yeah, let's go with the travel requests because I have ready to go test samples or test list items to implement those right away. Okay, let's go use template. I'm gonna use the same name, travel requests, and that's great. Now I have Excel file. It's like fun trick to you also. If you have some kind of data to get to Excel to SharePoint list, then you can copy and paste to this SharePoint list. Okay, let's take those fields, copy. And I'm going to edit in create view and Control V. Not working. Yeah.
That's easy.
Yeah.
So it's like from Excel to a web service. It's just copy paste.
Copy paste. Yeah. Okay. So now it's done. I have like some kind of data here, and now I want to build the PowerApps to input some kind of data here easily from a phone or let's say from a computer also. Okay, we have here integrate options. So I'm gonna go over those. We have PowerApps integrate, which you can create the PowerApps just one click. You can create the Power Automate. So automate this process. Let's say if the new item is added, then it'll start some kind of approval process. I'm going to show you later how it's done, and so on. And also Power BI. So it's kind of you want some kind of data report, and you can just do it in one click, and afterwards you can customize it.
A little bit,
yeah. If you want.
If you need to like integrate with other lists and libraries, then you still need to have a custom-made Power BI report.
Okay. Yeah. So let's go with the PowerApps and create an app. And then app name is travel request. Create it. It takes some time, usually a few seconds, and it's done. Okay, the same. I know what's the problem now. I need to refresh this list. So it's new list and then new data. Now it should work. Let's go with again.
So a refresh. F5 is a friend of yours.
Yeah, F5. Control F5.
Okay.
So I guess I hope it works.
It takes a longer time.
Longer time, so it has to work.
Yeah, really? Hopefully, so it's
Hopefully, yeah. Setting the PowerApps, so it's good.
Better because it's not closing now.
It's not closing, yeah. So yeah, I had to refresh the list, so it's new list and create the PowerApps in it. You have to refresh just once. Okay, now we have PowerApps ready to go. So what you can see now here, you can see that we have those list items, which we have here. We have now here some gallery which shows you list items. Also, you can now see plus button, so you can add a list item to this list. So this is cool feature. And now you can see this list item details also if you go inside it and edit those, if you want. Okay, so let's try to edit. Actually, let's go. Let's say I'm gonna put just some test here. Saved, and as you can see, it saves instantly. And let's go back to the SharePoint. Now you can see that one of the, you have this test here. It saves automatically from SharePoint also, so it's instant connection. Okay, I'm gonna, talk about a little bit about this PowerApps, what you can do here, and then so on. Okay, let's go with the home screen. What I don't like about this instant creation that it gives this theme that I don't like. This is like, I guess it's kind of, I don't like it just.
Yeah, I have seen you making the change.
Yeah,
and I really don't see any change for me, but it's
probably what I see.
But with Teams, it usually is that, but it's just personal.
Yeah, what I see is it's smoother and it's cleaner.
Okay,
let's go with the blue. And as you can see, this blue,
it's a lot better.
Yeah, this blue is better than this other blue. So I don't like this blue, and I like this. This is like cleaner and
nice.
Yeah. So okay, as you can see, all the theme has changed, and then now it's okay. You can also edit those. You change the theme. You can also change these fields if you need to make it, let's say bigger, make it bigger. Also, if you make it bigger in text field, you should notice that you can make this multi-line. So it will go like this, line by line. And now it's okay. What insert? Okay, let's go over this insert. So what you can insert here, you can insert some labels. Let's say, let's make another blank screen, and you can just put some label here. Do some kind of stuff. I'm going to show you later on, maybe how to make from a scratch, not from just one click, but make from scratch this PowerApps, add those forms and all that. But yeah, input, you can add some kind of input you want. Basically everything you need is here, I guess. I have.
Can you add like button?
Like button.
Yeah.
Yeah, rating. I guess this is.
So it's basically the same, but yeah.
Yeah, but input like basically. Okay. Gallery for data source. So we have like one data source here, driver request, and it automatically shows you this list items. It's the same that we have this browse screen here. Yeah, data table, good for Excel. Maybe you want to show some kind of information from Excel, or you can also make a data source from a SharePoint list. So yeah, now you have SharePoint as a table, SharePoint items. Forms, I'm going to show you later. Later on, if you start from scratch, what it's good for. Media, yeah, all good stuff. If you want some image to be added, let's say we want to add some kind of logo here. Let's go with the Tableau logo, and let's say we want to add it to here. Let's go this media, and let's add this logo. It's white, so I'm gonna put it here actually. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna use this another. Yeah, this is better. So let's say some kind of Tableau logo here, or some company logo you have. You wanna add. It's easy as that. Okay, now we have logo, media, barcode scanner, or everything basically. Charts, we can add Power BI chart here if you want to, and then check live. We have icons here, a lot of icons, basically, yeah, and so on. You can make a custom component and import it, export it to the another apps, and this is cool feature, a new feature, and yeah, iBuilder, new thing also, not so new, but it requires extra license. Thomas talk about it later.
Afterwards,
Yeah, and mixed reality. So okay, view also, you can see here data sources. We can make. I'm going to show you later on again how you make a data source with another list and use it on one app. Media. Also, you have those buttons here. Collections. If you make some kind of collection, it will appear there. Variables also. And advanced options. So on visible function, if you want to add something that, yeah, basically action you can make, let's say Power Automate instant flow. Then let's say home. Let's go insert button, and this button, if you press that button, it will send out the email. Let's say. And you can just Power Automate, create a flow, let's say, create a flow, and talk about it later on, maybe how to. Okay, I'm gonna go over it right now. Okay, now you can see that PowerApps. If you press this button here, it will automatically send out the email to some kind of user. If you say send an email to let's say Thomas, and it puts some kind of subject here and body. Okay, so on visible, on hidden, this is screen property. So if you enter the screen, it will do some kind of stuff here. Settings, you can you can change something. Let's say name of the app icon, and so on. Display, you could change this to landscape or portrait. Upcoming features, you can click on some kind of features that you want to try. Let's say experimental, new things, you want to try it. You just put it on. And support. Okay. Now we went through this. If you have any questions, ask them. We'll find the answer. Okay. So I'm gonna show you. Let's do some kind of test. List item here. Let's say title is dream travel or dream.
Yes, dream. Yeah,
dream travel.
Dream travel. Yeah.
Okay. Reason for travel is dream. Dream. Just okay. And the requester. I rather not use this requester field here. Let's just assume that the created by user is this requester. So I'm gonna remove this requester actually, and I'm gonna explain it later why it's not needed. It will just make it, it's easier for the user if you have, just smaller form to be travel start request. Let's say I'm gonna go tomorrow and actually to the end of the year. Airline, I'm gonna use Japan Airlines, and the estimated therefore let's go with 5,000. So 5,000.
Quite expensive.
Quite expensive, yeah.
But it's
a dream. It's a dream.
It's a dream.
So submit item. Now we have submitted item, and now you can see that dream travel, the list item has appeared here. I'm gonna change something here. As we are not using the requester anymore, I'm gonna use created by because it's basically the same. Now created by. Yeah. Okay, so created by. So now you can see that big bosses are all created by, but it doesn't matter for us. So let's go with the
big boss. That's you.
Yeah, big boss is me, and yeah, I travel a lot. So let's go to this list. Now you can see that we have this requester here, but we don't actually need it. What we need here is show height columns, and we go with the created by. So now you can see that the system, as I created those list items, I'm the list item, created by. But if the user, let's say Thomas, makes some kind of request here, then Thomas is created by. I'm going to show you later on with my account how it will show the user. But right now it's created by is big boss. Okay, we have PowerApps ready actually, and let's say publish.
And that's an important step to publish it.
That's a big
if
part.
You don't publish it, other people won't see it.
Yeah. Or you make some kind of changes and you don't publish it, then the user will see the old version.
Yeah. And you also have to share it probably.
Yeah. But now we can go to this view mode and let's share it out. I'm going to share it with my other account, and I'm going to share it with Thomas. Travel request. Let's share. And now let's share with the Kevin, and let's share with Thomas.
Nice.
Send an email invitation to a new user. If you don't want to notify user, let's say you have some kind of live app that you don't want to notify user yet, so you leave that.
But for example, if you are using groups, because can you use groups here?
Yeah, I can use the groups. I don't know which group, but the first group.
But if you write, for example, marketing. It's an Office 365 group.
Yeah.
Here, but if you use everyone, for example.
Dev. Okay. DevOps admin. I don't know which one, but let's go with the everyone. So what everyone in Primant. What you see here is everyone in company name here, and it just shares the app out every user from a company. So,
okay. Which is usually the case.
Yeah.
Because you want everyone to go to Dream Travels.
Yeah, Dream Travels. Yeah. Because now only big boss can travel.
Yes.
It's not for all of the company workers. But yeah, I'm gonna share with those two users out, and I'm gonna send an email invitation to user. Share. Okay. It will take some time. Basically, if you share it out, it will happen basically instantly. Let's take 1 minute or 2 minutes. I'm gonna go with my account. Let's open Outlook here. So
think you need to share your screen also.
Not that screen. I'm gonna
just a moment.
Yeah, it'll take some time, but this notification comes in 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, now you can see that we have app. This is the link you want to share out to the user. You can also find the link in settings, details, and web link. So this is web link for the user if you want to use it on the computer. Also, for the mobile version, let's show right now, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go. So I have an app called PowerApps. You can get it with in App Store. Let me find it and let's put it somewhere. Yeah. Okay. So maybe you can show me or yeah. So I have PowerApps app. You can download it App Store or from the Google Play Store. So PowerApps, if you go inside the PowerApps, you can see all the apps that were shared by you or created by you. So you can see all apps here.
You can put it.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's search for the travel request because it's shared from shared. Yeah. Okay. I have 2 old versions here. Okay. Now you can see that travel request. Also, what you want to do is if it's the app you want to use daily, you want to add it to this front page.
Home screen.
Yeah, home screen. So info here you have you just close now info button. Yeah. So press info button, pin to home, and it will pin this travel request to home. Now you can see that I have this app here. Press on it and the app opens instantly. I'm gonna have to allow the SharePoint connection because SharePoint connection is used. And now you can see that the user sees this picture, that the user cannot see everything inside the list.
So because okay, but
Yeah.
why is that?
Because it's set to this, configuration. I'm not.
Default configuration is that you can see only your own items.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the full control person who have full control permission, then the user can see everything. So basically, I say that the CEO.
So it basically takes the access rights from SharePoint. And when you create an app on top of that SharePoint connection, it uses this SharePoint access right.
Yeah.
And if a user doesn't have access to that SharePoint site, the user probably doesn't have also access to the data. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they can see only the data that they have access to.
Yeah. Now you can see my screen, and let's go. I'm not going to show you from the PowerApps from the telephone because it's not easy, but okay. I showed you how to make this, dream travel list item, and also I forgot to remove the requester here, but it doesn't matter. So you can edit this. Actually, dream travel to let's say Japan, and edit this. Also, it edits instantly. So
in SharePoint also.
Yeah, easy as that. So our PowerApps is ready to go. Now, what we want to do is we want to make some kind of approval here that it needs to be approved, because if you can't approve yourself this. So what we have here, approved, yes, no. Now we want to do this kind of trick that we can integrate and Power Automate. I'm gonna create the flow, and I'm not gonna use those templates because I need to, I'm gonna start from scratch actually, but you can use those templates if you want to. See your flows. Now I'm gonna new flow, automated flow because it's automated, and when new travel request is created. And what I want to use here to trigger when an item is created. So this is the trigger we want to use. Great. Now we want to make a connection between those SharePoint list and Power Automate. So I'm going to use this GoToWebinar site. List name is travel request.
Can you increase the size a little bit, because I see that it's like quite hard to read. Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
So,
it's better now.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
We want to get item. So this item that were created, we want to get it. Get item. Site again. You need to make a connection. List item. Yep. Let's search travel request. And the ID is from this action. So let's put this ID. Okay, now we got the item. We want to start the approval process. So approval, start and wait for an approval. Let's use approval type is first to respond. So let's say there is multiple people that needs to respond, and if the first one responds, then it's approved. So title
for these types of requests, I think this is a good strategy, because otherwise someone may reject it. But
then you can't go.
Yeah, then you can't go. Yeah. In this case, if at least someone approves it, you can go right away.
Yeah. That's title. Title for this start and from there is new travel request to be approved, not to be approved, but there is new travel request assigned to let's say it's assigned to Kevin and also Thomas. So I can approve my own travel request. If I get it first. If I get it first.
Yes.
Details. So hello.
But then you also have a group there, for example.
I'm not sure about the approval, because we have problems with. I guess it needs to be distribution list, distribution group, or kind of. I don't know. We have any.
Yeah.
Not coming up, but
yeah,
but the approval.
We have deleted a lot of test.
Yeah, we have. So we don't have any. No, but you can use a group here, but it can't be regular group. It has to be, I guess, made distribution list or something like this. Okay, hello. So there is new travel request by. Now we can use this get item properties here. So we want to use created by display name. There is a new travel request by Big Boss, let's say.
Yep.
And that's all. I don't know if you want to add something here.
Please review and make a decision.
Please review and make a decision. I guess it's not right.
It's right.
It's right. Okay. So regards or something. Normal email. Yeah. Item link. Item link. We want to add this item link here. So item link. We can here see link to item. So this manager or whatever who is approving, they can go to this link to item and see themselves some details that
more details.
Yeah. Description. Let's use title here. Get item title, and that's all. That's for the approval.
And you can also use all the fields actually from that.
Yeah.
In that email. So if you want to.
Yeah. Let's say what we want to use here.
Let's say.
Not the destination, but
price. Let's put price there.
Price, yeah. Hotel ghosts. Okay. Price. Airline. So
airline. Okay. It's more neutral.
Yeah. Airline value. If you have two options here, if it's choice value, you want to use value. Airline value.
Yeah, and if you have like some very some API you are taking data from, you can build your expression yourself. So it's like you go to an item but let's not go there today.
Let's not go there. Okay, condition. So let's make a condition here. Condition is so the outcome of this start and wait for an approval outcome should be is equal to approve, because if yes, then it will approve this this driver request. If no, then basically try again.
Is it approve or approved?
Approve.
Okay.
Yeah, approve. All right. Now, if it's approved, one update item. So update item, SharePoint, make a connection. Let's go go to webinar, list name, travel request, ID, get item, and now update item. Now you can see all the fields. The title field is required here. Then I need to just put the title here, get item, so it will not show errors. No.
But you can also change it. Like, for example, you might have this decision there, like it's like approved or declined or whatever. You basically can have a status also.
Let's say we have title, but we want to change the title. Let's say to put ID there if it's approved or something. Get item, ID, and this. Oh, yeah. Wait, ID. So it's unique or
yes. Yeah. Okay, so it changes the ID, or you want to like some you want to already show the decision or something in the ID. So,
approved. So question mark yes, because outcome is equal to approve, and now we have this update item. It's approved.
And you don't have to enter all the data I have.
Yeah. If it's not required. I rather not to use this required field even in SharePoint, because in PowerApps you can manually just change those fields that you wanna change. This if you change 2 places, then if you change SharePoint side, you can also need to change from a PowerApps.
Okay.
And this is 2 places. Yes. But if you only use this PowerApps function, that you can just let's go, let's unlock it, and the required here, you can make it true. So if it's true, then you cannot send it out. So true. Now it's required from a PowerApp. So
okay.
Yeah.
At least in PowerApps, but not in SharePoint.
Not in SharePoint, but I'd rather use this function, because now you have 1 place to change it.
Okay. Yes.
Rather than 2. Okay. So this is wrong one. Let's leave it. Okay.
And, yes. and if you don't enter this data, it doesn't delete it. Yeah.
No, it doesn't delete it.
Yeah, it's because sometimes it's if you don't enter all the data in some maybe APIs,
then
it will delete the data that you don't enter. Yeah.
Then you're like, oh,
oh shit.
Oh shit. Where is the backup? Send an email. Send an email. Okay. To the user, actually, because it's approved, user needs to get notified. We are using the dynamic content because we don't have specific email for this. So created by, and now we use the display name, but we want to use the email for this due value. Okay, subject, a travel request. Actually, travel request. Yeah, let's put some. Hello, created by display name, because it's better. Hello, created by display name. Your travel request, travel request title. Let's put title here. Title
was approved.
Was approved.
We can also have it here, for example, in the subject line, also this title. So it's already conveys some information from title.
But it gives some kind of, user some kind of, that kind of feeling that if you go inside the email, that You can put it also here.
Yeah, but it's like you already like you see the information from the subject line. I think this is a good practice to have it.
Your driver request was approved, so you can put it here too.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go with regards or whatever you want to put here, and now it's done. Now we want to do if no. What happens if no? We don't need to update item because default value is no.
Yeah.
So we don't have to do that. But we have to send out some kind of email. I'm going to use this copy to clipboard function here.
This is nice. This is nice, yeah.
Yeah.
I see it's still in preview for some reason.
This is still in preview because it's not working correctly.
Sometimes
if you copy some kind of, let's say you have applied to each function here, and this apply to each is like 10 or 15 actions or something like that. If you copy this, then this first apply to each will sometimes go broken, or you have to go over it.
Okay.
So
it breaks down.
But we have this small, one action here. Send an email.
So if you had this action, you can add it from clipboard then.
Yeah.
This is like how it works. So it doesn't work with Control V. So you have
Control V, add an action.
Yeah.
And
from my clipboard, yeah.
Control V, it will give you this, ID for this action, but you have to go my clipboard.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So you have to make sure that you don't have some typo here if you copy. So driver request is not approved. Driver request was declined, and your driver request was declined. So hello again. Wait, I'm gonna go. Was approved. Okay, let's not put it. And
try again.
Try again, yeah. Try again. Try again.
Exclamation mark.
Yeah. Try again next year. Okay, save. Now we have this flow ready to go. And okay, input template, send an email to cannot reference update item. Okay, we have this update item that we used here, but created by email. What we used here, if you copy this is what I was talking about. If you copy this, and I used update item properties here.
Okay.
Let's say we don't have them here. If you go here, you have this update item properties, but you need to change those to this get item. Maybe from this side you also want to use this get item property.
Okay.
It's just I forgot. So requester email. Let's change those created by, but it doesn't matter. It's the same, but it's just
it's the same, but it takes from some other step. So
rather use this get title. So okay.
Update item.
Yeah. Okay. Now your driver request title was declined.
And you have to change those.
Yeah. So let's do requester email. Created by email. Created by display name and the title. All right. So
nice. So it should work now.
Yeah. All right. Your flow is ready to go. So they recommend to test it.
And they recommend it to test. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's test it. Let's take the recommendation.
Let's try.
So
if it's working.
So can you do it now on this app?
But I'm gonna go with my account actually.
Okay.
Driver request. Now I can see. This is wrong one. Okay. Now we'll show you this that the user cannot see everything. So what needs to be done? List settings. And let's go with advanced settings. Now you want to do this.
But if user doesn't need to see everything, Oh, okay.
Yeah. Read items that were created by the user.
Yes.
And create items and edit items that were created by the user.
Okay. So changing the setting, yeah.
Yes. All right. Now the changes is immediately. Let's go PowerApps. Okay. Travel request. We can see.
So it's your account now, like personal account, not like admin account.
If the user comes in a first time, allow permission.
Yep.
All right.
And it's empty now, yeah.
Yeah, it's empty. So we cannot see what admin sees. Let's make some kind of stream travel again. But to where?
Let's visit Santa Claus.
Santa Claus. But
Claus, yeah.
Claus, yeah. Travel. Stream. I don't know. Let's go next year because I have already planned.
Yep.
Next year, and then let's go 2 months. 2 months. Okay.
It's nice to go in January when Santa Claus has more time because in December it's like busy, very busy. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know which one. Let's just go with the Emirates.
Yes.
It's like luxurious.
Hopefully they land there. So.
Yeah, estimated therefore. I hope that Santa Claus pays for it, but let's go.
As a present.
Yeah. But let's pay it first, and then maybe Santa Claus pay it afterwards. Yes. Okay. Okay. Stream travel Santa Claus. Now we can see that this is made. This list item is made. We can see the details. And if we go to this Big Boss account, now we can see that if you refresh it, let's hide this request because it's useless. Show hide columns, and let's hide it requester. So now you can see that you can hide those.
Created by, you can still see, yeah.
Yeah.
But here it showed me then showed a picture of a person, but here it doesn't. I
guess it's you can do that, but I need some time to think.
No, let's not concentrate on that.
Let's not concentrate. Yeah. But you can configure it.
It's how this field is displayed. Yeah.
Yeah, with the picture. But it's something show hide.
No. It's
okay.
Let's not concentrate on that.
Yeah.
Basically, you can show the picture also, but
but I'm not sure because it's created by field. I guess person field shows something different.
Okay.
Stream travel to Santa Claus. Stream. It's approved. No. But let's go.
Let's see. I'll see I'll look at in my.
I have it also because I'm gonna approve it first. Because then I can't go if Thomas declines.
Yes. Yeah. You have to be fast. So can you show that how it look like?
Let's go. Now there is a new travel request. Center is Microsoft Flow to Kevin Deckett. So there is a new travel request requested by Big Boss and it's created. It's hello. There is a new travel request by Kevin Deckett. Airline Emirates. Please review and make a decision.
Yeah. Don't.
Yeah. I'm gonna show you requested by is Big Boss. You can change it because requested by should be Kevin Deckett. So let's go back to this flow. Now go approval, show advanced options, and requester is actually created by. So created by. I think I need to use email and done. Now the requester is.
So next time it will be like proper. Yeah. Okay. Proper. But don't. This is an active card. And actually, I think this is a new technology from Microsoft, and Microsoft has actually open sourced, and everyone can use those functionalities, and basically you can like define what this shows, and it can if the status you can approve, reject already here in email. You don't have to go anywhere, and if status changes, it will show you this updated content.
Yeah. But let's go. You can do it
in Teams also.
In Teams also. So let's go with this. I guess approvals. Yeah, approvals. Now,
can you in this approvals also like right click and say that it's like stick there?
Pin.
Yeah.
Pin,
so if you are a big boss in your organization, you should probably have it pinned, because you have to approve all the time. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, now you can see there is a new driver request. It'll show you the email body attachments. As you can see, the stream travel Santa Claus is linked to this item. So if you press on it, you can see that this
details of
this request. Okay, and status requested pending response. Kemindekator Thomas. Thomas, maybe you approve it, and let's show the users how I can see it after you approve it.
Let's see. Yeah. Where is it? I have many Teams windows, so I have to find the right one.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I have it now. So I have it as new travel request, sent by Big Boss right now. So I will open it and I will approve it.
Yeah.
I'll have comment. Nice thought. And approve. Let me see.
All right. So Thomas approve it.
But it doesn't automatically.
I guess I need to open it again.
Reopen it, yeah.
Or it will take some time. But let's reopen it. And now it shows this loading button, and others have already completed this request, so you don't need to approve it.
So it was because we had the same. So it's nice no one can actually decline it if the first one has already approved it. So from that perspective, I think it's a good.
So if you, yeah. That's good. That's good.
That's good.
You go first and
yes. Be very fast.
Okay, be very fast. Yeah. Something went wrong. Yeah. Okay. Let's close this Teams, and now you can see that if you go inside this app, in a second we can see that it's approved. It takes some time, but I refresh it and fast. Now it's yes, and then I go visit Santa Claus on January 1st.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's it for this part. Maybe show this Power BI later. I'm going to show you this, or show Power BI later.
I think the easier. I should not right now.
All right. So let's visualize the list. So let's use this function to visualize the list. Show some charts there ready to made, and let's go over it. Posit Primend. Yeah.
Yep.
Connection.
It will take
some seconds.
Yeah. Basically, it creates connections in the background and imports data to Power BI portal and shows it. So, and you have a set of reports here. So you have already something here, like a number of requests by money and so on. So it's like you see that it's approved requests in January. It's quite a hike with Santa Claus, but
Santa Claus pays for it. So
yeah, afterwards it may be better. Yeah,
so you get it back.
You get it back. Yeah.
But it's if Santa Claus pays for it. Okay.
Yes, but what you have to, you can also edit it here. So
yeah, edit.
Yeah.
Continue. Now add some filters or a visualization.
Yes, you can change visualizations. You can even add new pages here.
Page.
Yeah, page. But the important thing is that this is like a special type of report that's connected specifically to that SharePoint page. It's quite a new functionality or integrated functionality. with SharePoint and Power BI. I think it was introduced sometime in June. And you cannot here like customize it very much. So if you need to like connect different lists and make more complex reports, then you still need to use Power BI desktop to create those reports.
And you need Thomas.
Yes, or Mardo, some other guys. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah.
And now you can publish it to this list. So basically, you need to publish it also. It just isn't enough if you just create here.
Publish.
And it's so important that this list will not be in your like a Power BI this work group, or it will not be in your personal reports list. It's just tied to that SharePoint library. So this is like important distinction. If you compare to other reports you can have it like you have this Power BI workspace where you have all your reports, and this report is not there. So if you want to create report for sharing through Power BI means this report, then you need to do a custom report. But if you just want to show stuff in that list, then it's just here. But I started to think about one thing. You published that report now, and can you go with your own account and look at that report now that you published?
Inside list, you mean?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, refresh it now. If I just in case refresh. Yeah.
Oh, it's another list. It's this list. This site contents. I guess we did this kind of trick that the user cannot see everything. So
yes, that's what I want to see. But like it works here also. It should show you only this January stuff.
Not.
No.
Okay, so there is some restriction to be made in Power BI site also, I think.
Yes, so you had to. This row-level security is not implemented. So
it's cool here because if I check this big post site, then I can see totally different view.
It seems that it creates something ad hoc.
Yeah, something totally different. Okay.
So, but if you need a proper Power BI report, you anyway need to.
But it's cool also. So the user can get the information outside here.
Yeah.
Because okay. So that's it for this side. Now, what I want to show you next is how to make this, second list. This list. Let's say we want to do expense report for the driver request. So we add another list, new list, and now I'm not going to take templates because I want to do blank list. And the blank list is driver requests. Expense report.
Expenses
is better. Show in sites navigation. I don't want to show it.
Because it's a sub list basically.
Yeah. Great. It's just background list. Okay. The first you want to do is if you make a blank list, the first I do always, I go list settings. And I uncheck required field for this title because it will give you a headache later on if you don't use this title field and you go to this PowerApps development side and you want to submit the form. It will not submit the form, and you spend a lot of time to find the answer what this error means, but it's this required field always. You want to check it first thing. This title is always by default required, but you want to change it unrequired if you don't use it. Right.
You need to share a screen also.
Yeah, also. Let's share the screen. Okay. This should be the right screen.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm seeing a screen.
All right. Okay. What I was trying to show you. Okay, so yeah, how to make the expense report for this list. We want to make it separate because just to show you how you connect two lists, and this is okay.
Oh, sorry to break you. We also promised to answer the question after the break.
Yeah.
We had one question.
Okay.
And yes, we had these technical difficulties, and I forgot all about that question. The question was whether you can build those PowerApps also offline. So
I mean, PowerApps has this functionality to save to cloud. Let's go this PowerApps file. This is new for me, but
I think the thing is that you actually cannot build those PowerApps offline. You need to have this. It's a web service. You need PowerApps itself has to be online. Otherwise, it's very hard to create this infrastructure for a phone app and everything.
Yeah,
but PowerApps can save data offline, basically to this on-premises data center, but it cannot run like standalone.
Yeah, but one thing, you can save this PowerApps, this computer. What it does is it will save this PowerApps as a zip file, or you can.
It's like a backup.
Yeah, just a backup.
Okay.
Let's assume that you have. It's very hard to build it offline because we have online connections there. Let's say SharePoint is online. If you say something in SharePoint,
all the web services are online. So
it's complicated to build it offline, but I haven't tried it.
No, I think we can safely say that PowerApps is meant for online services. It's a modern application that interacts with online services, and all the connections are built for online services. Of course, you can use the same connectors basically all over Power Platform. For example, you have this offline or like this connector application that you can install on premises, so that PowerApps and Power Automate flows can access those data sources that are in your data center, but it's still PowerApps itself cannot just run from a data center. With the very large organizations, I think there is a possibility that Microsoft will provide you with some kind of Azure environment that where you can run the PowerApps from your own data center. And I know there are some global customers who have that capability, but for like average implementations, it's not possible. So if you are a global organization, you have some special licensing agreement with Microsoft, and you can run Azure like those services from your own data center, then there is a capability to run PowerApps also from your data center, but it's not like a standard functionality.
Yep, I guess that's answers. Okay. If there isn't any questions anymore, let's go to do a new list for this expense report. Let's go list. I think I started it the last when we went to. Okay, I started travel request expenses. So I have this list. So now what I did here, I unchecked the required mark there with the title field, and I want to hide it. But before I hide it, I need to add some column here. Let's say I want to add a column. What it is? Let's go with the trip title, but I don't wanna trip ID. Let's make it trip ID. Trip ID. Yep. Single line of text. Done. Now what we want to do is we want to create some kind of cost related thing. Let's say estimated. Therefore, it's estimated. So what we're going to do with the expenses, we want to add this estimated price to this real thing. So currency, let's find currency. Currency is euro. So we're going to change it to dollar because we have this dollar list, I guess. It's in dollars.
It doesn't matter. So
doesn't matter, yeah.
Yeah. In EU, you usually have euros, but
but I'm gonna change it just
but you can still use different currencies also and different numbers. And we have built up actually applications that take different currencies into use. And if you when you fill in those expense reports, then it takes into account also this European Central Bank this exchange rates. Yeah. So,
but it's
but it's even more complex application.
One step, or a few steps.
Yeah, a few steps. Yeah.
Okay, let's change it to euro, and I changed it on the main list to euro. Let's use this airfare. So I guess this is airfare. Yep, and let's use only airfare. So we want to do airfare expenses. Trip ID, airfare, and also submit ID. So we want to connect those to the main list. So single line of text is good. Submit ID. So the submit ID should be the same as we see in this list. We had column here and show high columns. It's a background column, but we want to show it here just to show you. Okay, now this 8. Let's say we want to do expense report for this list item. So this 8 should be this expense request submit ID. You can see the later on. Okay, we have it great. We have the list created. Now we want to connect to this PowerApps and make some kind of new form that you can submit this expense request. All right, let's go back to this PowerApps. Now I want to make a connection to the expense request expenses list. That needs to be done at data. As Thomas mentioned, I'm going to show you the connectors also, how it is from the PowerApps side. So you can see the connectors here. There is a lot of them. See all connectors. You can see all the connections. So there is few hundreds of them here. Too many.
But you can search at least.
You can search, yeah. And some of them is premium. As I mentioned, Thomas will talk about it later.
So it's paid for.
Yeah, paid for the app. Okay, so search for the SharePoint connection. I'm gonna do this. I have 3 connections. If you don't have connection, it will give you a choice to make a connection. You need to make a connection in order to connect to this list. Magnusson and this list we want to do is travel request expenses connect. Now the data it has been added. Now we have ready to make screens here, and to make it faster or not too complicated, I'm gonna copy those and let's see. So edit screen. I'm gonna copy this duplicate screen. So it's just a cool feature if you wanna do fast something. I'm gonna change the title here. It's travel request expense says or expense. Yeah. I'm gonna change the data source here. So this is a form data source, and data source you can see that we have 2 data sources. And let's use this travel request expenses. Now it will give you an option to replace my data cards. Usually you do want to replace those with the new ones. Now you can see that we have those fields ready to go with there. Let's remove title because we don't use it. What I meant by just this required title field, why I wanted to hide it or do it unrequired, then I wanted to just hide it because I don't need it from the expenses side. So now it's hidden. Let's go and hide this here too. Okay, now it's hide. Okay, here we have error. You want to fix this error. So the item should be yes, browse gallery 1 select, it will be connected to this, travel request main list. But give me a second. Yeah. Okay. So give me a second. Yep. Okay. So you want to do a lookup here because lookup to this main list, it needs to be shown as an expense. It will be connected. So let's say lookup, and the data source here item should be data source is right, and lookup. So lookup will be like, give me a second. Yeah, this should be right. Travel request or not. Okay, I'm gonna comment later. I'm gonna just delete it, see if it's needed. I'm not sure if it's needed. Yeah, okay. Trip ID. So trip ID default. We want to change this default because give user as little as possible, so the user doesn't need to add those manually. So here trip ID should be browse gallery. Let's make some IDs for this expense. So selected, let's say this is ID. So this browse gallery 1, we selected it here. So if it's selected, let's say dream travel.
Isn't it like prudent sometimes just to rename it to reflect what it actually is, and afterwards it's easier to code when you know what it is, because those like generic names, it's like doesn't show you what's behind.
It's a hidden field later on. It doesn't, but it's for development.
Yes, but from development point, yes, I understand that. But from a development point of view, is it like, for example, if you browse gallery 1, I would say that it's like a gallery of all.
Okay, yeah, I know what I mean. You mean change this gallery name?
Yes, to change it to like a request gallery, for example.
Travel request gallery.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so you afterwards, if you have to find somewhere, you can just.
Yeah. Okay. Travel request gallery. So it's easier just do it this way. Yeah, you are correct. Okay, trip ID. No, it changed.
It updated it.
Yeah, it updated it.
That's one that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, travel request gallery. If you select something there, take this ID. Now, and we want to show something more. Let's go add some to this, and let's add something more. Travel request gallery selected ID. I'm gonna copy this, and now I wanna now dot and let's use created by. So it will show created by here. All right, and created by display name because it's a person field. Now let's use those same here also, and travel request selected, right? And lastly, I want to use title here. So the ID is right 8. So we had this ID before. There are 2 also, but it doesn't matter. Let's just use this. And now we want to hide this because it doesn't matter for the user what ID is. So false. Visible is false. Error. So submit ID. Submit ID. We want to show the ID of the request. So default same again. Travel equals gallery selected, and here we need to use ID. All right, let's hide this too because we don't need this also. And let's leave the attachment field here that the user can actually add some PDF or something to prove this expense. Yep, that's pretty much it. Okay, now what you want to do is here, you want to add some button to get to this screen. So if you go Dream Travel Santa Claus, let's play it. Also cool feature for you. You can play here to go through this screen, but you can also press Alt button and use your mouse or and then just use Alt and right click or left click. This is the same as play. It's faster, I guess. Dream Travel Santa Claus. Now we want to add this button here that the user can instantly make this request. All right, insert some kind of button, and now make it smaller. Let's put some kind of font, smaller 18. All right, so plus expense reports. All right. Now on select is new form. So we want to do new form because it's new. So new form, which form it is? It's edit form one-on-one. So edit form, it will give you this option here, no? So one-on-one, yeah, that's right, new form. Now you want to navigate to this screen. So navigate to edit screen one-on-one, but let's change the name. Let's say edit screen, add new expense screen. So yeah, and edit screen, this one is actually edit and travel request screen. All right. Now let's go back to this detail screen. So detail screen, navigate to this new expense, add new expense screen. Yep, that's it. New form, navigate, and if you navigate it, you can see that airfare cost. Let's change this name maybe to something. Okay, and cost. Space there. Cost. Okay. That's it. Now we have this screen to add expense report. Now we want to do a view list, so detail screen for this expense item. So now again, duplicate. So duplicated. Detail screen one, but detail expenses detail screen, and this is also rename it. It's request detail screen. So yeah, okay. Expense detail request, expenses detail screen. Let's change this. Now we want to do a lookup. So lookup should be that it will show the item that is connected to this main item. You select this travel request gallery from. Okay, so item data source should be travel request expenses. Replace my cards. All right, and now the item is actually a lookup. So lookup to this travel request expenses, and now the condition is that the travel request you need the source here. So let me fix this. Request expenses, yeah. And now, all right. So the travel request expenses should be submit ID should equal to this travel request gallery selected ID and close. We have some error here. Lookup travel request. I guess we need to refresh it to. Okay, let's try this. Yeah, that's okay. Now it's correct. This exclamation mark here shows that if the list has more than 500 items, then you have problems. Then it will come a problem to show this item. It'll show random item if it can't find the right item. But we have one list item right now, and I'm going to show you an easy way if you have like small list. All right.
So basically, SharePoint list has a 30 million item limit.
Yeah.
Yes, and in one view in SharePoint, you can show only 5,000. So you must have views that have less than 5,000 items. And in PowerApps, because PowerApps loads the data in background into your mobile application, is like item limit is 500. And if there's like more than 500 items in your list, you need to like do a bit more complex data.
Yeah, data. Basically, you need to find a workaround or add some kind of filters there. But basically, this is an easy app. This is an app that shows only this user made the request. So I can't find a way that user makes 500 travel requests in a year.
In a year, yeah, but in 10 years or so.
Yeah, but you show only this year travel requests. Yes. You can filter those out, and that's how you make it more efficient. File, you can actually change settings that it will show more than 500, but the 2000 is limit. So that's but the 2000 it will take so much time to load or much more time than 500. Okay, let's remove title here. We'll come back later. Airfare, and we want to add the attachment here. Attachment also add, yeah. Okay, let's add some kind of expense. So we have it ready. Dream travel to Japan, expense report, airfare cost. Now, let's say it took 2,000 and some kind of PDF file, so PDF document that proves. Submit item, done. Take some time. Okay, now we're back again here. Now let's go to this travel request expenses. We can see that 7 big post dream travel to Japan and 2000 submit ID is 7. We go back to this main list. 7 ID is this dream travel, then big post, and that's how we connect those two lists and to actually connect. Okay, let's make it more easier, or let's make it more understandable for the user. So you cannot make an expense report if this expense report has been made before. So one travel request, one expense report. What we're going to do here is let's go back to this main list and let's add one more meta field. So meta field is yes, no, and we want to control if expense report is made. So expense report question mark, yes, no, default value is no. Yes, save. Now let's go back to this app. And what we want to do here is expense report. Let's multiply or duplicate this button. Just Control C and Control B. Okay, plus expense report. It's not plus anymore. It's just expense report. So done. Now it has to be visible if this is false or true. Let's show first how you can make it work. Let's go back to this expense report. Let's make some expense, but before I make it, we need to use batch function here. So if the form is on success exit, if the form is have saved the items to the SharePoint list, then do something. So forms on success, Now on success, it will say here back, but add something more here. So let's add batch function. That's what I'm saying. And now batch function is source should be the driver request, because we want to change this main list expense report to yes if expense report has been made. Okay, go back batch. Let's find driver requests. Done. Record should be ID should be ID travel requests gallery. So the ID should be the same as we selected here. Travel request gallery dot selected dot ID. So patch. I think I need to use lookup here. So let's try lookup. And now, guess yeah, that's right. Now I'm gonna remove the lookup because let's try. And now this, I don't know what it's called, this semicolons, or yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, or brackets or this. Okay, so inside those, we want to do this. You can find this list travel. No. Expense metadata meta expense. It didn't find it there because we just added it and the connection hasn't been refreshed. So we go data, you go travel request and you refresh it if you do some kind of changes inside the list. So you now see that expense, it'll automatically pop up expense reports, and expense report should be true if this is on success. I'm gonna check fast. Okay, I guess let's try it this way. Selected. Yeah, that's work. Okay, so batch travel request, which item that you selected from the travel request gallery, and which field you wanna change expense report to true. Back, yeah, that's done. Okay, now if you do something here, let's go 3000. Done. Let's go to this main list and refresh it fast forward. All right, and expense report here is done, or yes.
Existing.
Yeah, existing, and
yeah.
now we can control which button is available if expense report hasn't made or has been made. So expense report, and now we want to change visible status. It's more complicated than just the true. It's gonna be if function, if browse gallery, no browse gallery, but we changed it to this travel request gallery selected let's say expense report is equal to true. So if it's true, then don't show this item, don't show this button, because we already have expense report. We don't need another one. And now if otherwise, it will be true. Let's copy this and let's use the same function here for the view button. So visible and true will be true if it's false, and then do this one. If it's false, then it will pop up, and otherwise it's false. Nope, something went wrong. I'm gonna use the same here, but I'm gonna change those to so true, false. Right, that's better. Now let's put this button over here, the same place that we have this plus button. And as you can see, if you go through this request, we have here expense report. So this is Santa Claus. We can view the list. Let's actually view it on select. And now it's not new form, but it doesn't matter what we use here. It's let's delete this and where we want to navigate. So we want to navigate to this expense view, expense and detail screen. So it'll navigate to detail screen. If we go expense report, we can see that 3,000, and we didn't add attachment, so it don't show this attachment, but I'm going to show you that attachment will appear here if we add it. We're going to remove this button here because it's not needed here. We're going to remove this delete because user just doesn't need to delete. No, I'm going to just, okay, I can't make it back, but this is PowerApps. Okay, travel request, travel request expense. All right, and edit is already. Okay, let's go back. Now let's go Dream Santa Claus expense report view. Now we want to do expense report for this request. So expense report, you can see the plus button because the expense report hasn't been made to this travel request. So expense reports, airfare cost, let's say it was 500, attachment PDF, some kind of, and submit. And now you can see that it changed. Now you can go expense reports and you can see the attachment and also the airfare. So now you have two lists that is connected one another, and it's user friendly for the user to use it. But it's just the easy, easy part. If you want more complicated, you need to have some knowledge from this side. Okay, expense reports. I guess I went through this tool list connection. What's more, you also can create another flow. Let's say if some kind of new travel request is been added, the same as the mail list, you can start some kind of approval and connect those two lists.
Yes, last time we had this workshop, then there was a question whether you can use different languages in an app.
Absolutely, you can use, you can use some kind of more complicated ways to use some Excel file behind this PowerApps, but it's a new thing, and it's working if you translate it in one Excel and user can select actually, but it's more complicated.
But it's doable.
It's doable, yeah.
And user can change select language.
Yeah, user can select language, whichever language the user selects, it will show this language as a primary language. If you want to do it easy way, so let's say you have some easy app, then you can just change those titles or labels. Travel request, let's put it in Estonian maybe. It's okay, so you got the idea. You can change this title.
Yeah, but you can change if you change and that title, whatever you write there, it will show you. It will be just in one language and for every user. But if you have like an international organization, then you would like to have the same app everywhere, so you wouldn't have to like maintain 3 or 4 apps. So you can have one app and people are can choose the language when they start using that.
I don't know how much time we have. I wanted to show you how you make PowerApps from scratch. Just fast.
Yes, I think you should show this. Like, if you can have also other form factors for PowerApps, because this is definitely a phone version.
Yeah.
But maybe you want to use PowerApps on a PC or on a tablet, or how can you do it then?
All right. So yeah, we're gonna use the same list, but we don't use this integrate function anymore. We go PowerApps, and we want to make a new app. Fast, I'm going to show you the Canvas app. You actually can create. Let's go app name. I'm not sure. Let's just
travel request for tablet.
Travel request for tablet. So tablet.
And I once you told me that you every time you create it, you should anyway create this tablet
version.
Yeah, because if with phone version you cannot change this dimensions afterwards.
Yeah, you can change it to tablet version, but you cannot change the ratio.
Okay.
So let's say the resolution to bigger or
Okay. Oh, this like ratio how wide and how high
Yeah,
it is.
yeah,
So, okay.
yeah. Okay, great. So creating the app. Okay, I didn't show you this, but I'm gonna show you just to just so you know, if you have some kind of idea. Again, Microsoft shows you some kind of templates you can use. I have used them and a lot of times because it gives you so much knowledge. It has so much scripts in it, so you can see that start from a template. Also, you can create from a template. Let's say vacation app, for example, vacation app, and you can preview it. So it has some kind of testing items inside, and you can create it later on.
And we have used it also.
Yeah, we have used it, but changed it a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot more complex than
Yeah.
this one, but it's like if you think where we should start and maybe have something very rapidly, then this is a way to start. So.
You connect with your data.
Yeah. And it still looks very much the same that we are using. It's just in the back end we have a
Okay, yeah. It has language selection or no? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. About and all that you can just use this as your as you wish, and go over these templates and you get knowledge from them also. Okay, let's go. Great PowerApps. Let's say we want to add a form here. So edit form again. This is same as this form. Not edit form. Let's go first screen. Should be actually gallery. So let's use blank vertical and SharePoint connection. First thing you want to do, you want to add this data source. So let's add. If you make from a scratch, you don't have this data source already connected. So you want to do data source. From the start, I always made a mistake that I haven't had data source added, and it gives me an error, and then few hours few hours just searching what's the problem. Problem was that data source wasn't added.
Yeah.
SharePoint.
And every list you have to add it as a separate data source. It's not enough that you have SharePoint. If you want to use like several connected lists, you have to add it as a separate. Everyone is a separate data source, basically.
Yep. Okay. Travel requests connect. Yep. Now add this data source to this gallery. It's empty. You see. What you want to do here, you want to add the label. So it basically not in. I want to add inside this. So text. It takes automatically some kind of properties always. So text. Let's say want to add something more. Let's see what it does. Visit to do quality checks. Okay, this is a description, and let's add one more. Let's say who made it. Big boss.
So it takes automatically some fields.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Okay.
But you can change it then.
Yes.
Oh, right. It already filled in all over like.
Yeah. What I wanna like do always is let's add this. Okay, this is added. Okay, and now let's cast icons, and I wanna add this rectangle here so it separates some kind of way. Rectangle, and just make it smaller. Height should be 1, and the size should be let's just correct 1. Done. Now we have like separation from those list items, and this is the same as this app had.
It's like creating labels in Word.
Yeah, but you can change those. This item title, let's say this you want to show that if it's approved or not. So approved, yep, and done, not done, yeah. So approved, it's true. Now you can see that it's approved. That's pretty much it.
It's a lot more work than to have it.
Yeah.
Automatically.
But let's say this visualization, you need to visualize this on yourself because yeah, it just what I like to do always is add this banner up there, and we're not gonna do that right now, but I'm gonna just show you how you can make this not from the SharePoint list, but if you have like another data connection, let's say SQL or
SQL Server, SQL Server, you cannot have this like pre-made.
Yeah, and it makes just this connection do whatever you have, and do this way. All right. So let's add button. So button should be no not from here, but yeah, and this is like add button. Add a new one, and yeah, so we need edit screen. So let's duplicate this screen. This is not needed, but let's duplicate, and I'm gonna leave this button. Again, I'm gonna show the theme because I don't like this blue color here. So yeah, that's better.
That's a lot better.
Yeah, that's a lot better. Maybe I'm gonna do a dark because dark is cool.
Yeah, cool is cool nowadays. Yeah, everything has to be dark.
Yeah, everything. So yeah, it's dark. Insert input, and no, wanna use the form. So form input, and let's say form should be driver request. Now we create this. Take some time. All right, I'm back. All right, I'm gonna hide some columns here that is not needed because it's not needed. Let's just remove, easy delete those fields out because it's too much. Nope, nope, nope. Okay, so we have those 9 fields. That's it. All right. So add button here. Let's say it's submit. So you can unselect new form. So it's new form, not new form. Wait, something. Okay. Submit form. So submit form something. So this form is form 2. You want to name it what it does, or I'm going to use just form 2. Form submit form 2, and also this is it. This is what we want to do here. And now visible or unsuccess. If it's unsuccess, then do something. Let's say go back to this screen 1 that shows all the items, or let's say it will redirect some view for this. All right, so let's submit. Actually, you want to do this way that you go, yeah, on select. Now add here, you should do this function. So you put new form because it's new. You want to add new item. So everywhere or every time you do that, it's new form. If you want to add something to this list, new form. So new form. I guess it was form 2, and done. And now you want to navigate to the screen. So navigate. Form 2, not form 2, but screen 1 underline 1. What happens if you don't put new form here? I'm going to show you what happens. If you don't put it, just navigate it. Yes, first time it gives you easy. just give me a second. Okay, let's make a request. So some kind of title, reason for travel, requester. We don't need it. I'm gonna remove it. Travel start date. Let's go today. Airline something. Boom. Now it's done. Submit. Redirect. Now add. Now if you go again, you wanna make a second request, then you cannot because no item to display because it's in edit mode. So okay. That's why you wanna add this function that it will show new form. It will put this form mode to new. So again, let's go back new form. Now let's go add, and now it's okay. All right, submit works. Perhaps add this cancel button. Maybe user want to cancel, and back. All right, back. Basically, you want to do a detail screen also. So let's add new screen. Actually, what's the cool feature here too also? You can new screen, you can add some kind of template. Again, you have some kind of template here. Let's say, let's add this list, not list, but
success, for example.
Yeah, but I'm gonna find not. It doesn't have this. Okay, for the list, you know, if you want to add this list. Okay, now you can just connect the data. So you make it first screen. So it's first screen. Let's make it that way. That move up, and actually let's add this button here. So it's okay. This doesn't fit. Let's put it here, upper. All right, add. Now, okay, we have add button. We have some kind of screen visualized, and we don't have picture actually. This is not needed, but let's leave it. And now we can delete this because the first one is more
attractive.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now this button, if you press this item, this on select, this is this should navigate this detail screen. So let's make a detail screen. It should be blank list because I don't have a template for this detail. And again, let's add a form. So a form that shows the details. Yeah. So take some time. And now let's remove these unnecessary fields. All right, also we don't need this. And now here what you want to do is the item should be the one that you select. So template gallery 1. So this should be the item. So you go item, template list and select it. Done. Now it will show the item that is selected from this gallery. And what you want to do is user doesn't need to edit this. So you go just put it view mode and it's view.
That was easy.
Yeah.
And back button also.
Yeah, back button also. I'm going to copy. Back. And this on select is back. So okay, now it works. So now you can change this on select if the user it doesn't work right now. If you press on this button or anywhere, it doesn't work. So on select and navigate to screen 1. So screen 1 is our detail list, our detail screen. So if you press now, voila, and back, let's select something else, it works. So that's how you do it. Yep, add button, cancel, and of course it needs some visualization and all that. but just to show you fast how it's done, and then if you have some kind of other data source, then use this function this way. I guess Thomas can take over.
Yes.
You wanted to show this?
Yes, I wanted to show you how Power BI and
yeah.
how it's integrated into Power BI and.
All right. Also, okay. Just to fast remind users, file. The first thing you want create this app. You want to save it. I had day that I did like all day. I did PowerApps, and this is new PowerApps. I didn't save it. It's 5 hours work lost, and you start it again tomorrow. And that should be in mind. That first thing. What I didn't do is here. I didn't save it, but the first thing you want to do is save.
Yes.
And
it
also
will save it automatically when you make
save it automatically. Yeah.
And you can also make this backup to your own computer.
Backup is very important because you want to do it. The last version you publish, you want to do a backup for it, because if this app gets deleted from the PowerApps, yeah, you can contact the support for restoring this. You have 28 days to restore it, but it's better to have backup for this. So just to remind you, save your app. You're gonna lose the work if you don't save it.
Yeah. Okay, my turn now. So in the beginning, I told you that all the Power Platform products are interconnected, and they have you can integrate stuff into other products. And I would like to show you.
Thomas, I'm sorry. I think you can continue, but the same thing happened as before. I've lost all your screens.
Okay, I took over and started sharing my screen, so it was maybe, I think, okay.
Bug, something.
Some bug, yeah.
Lina is saying that she's seeing, so.
Okay, so let's go forward. So I will still, don't close anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's don't touch anything. It's live, so we cannot change, our moderator cannot change anything, but, and that's maybe good. Okay, so
hope it stays.
So I will take this site address here from SharePoint, and then I can create a report in Power BI. So here I open now Power BI. I have Power BI open here, and I can get data from another source. What you have to remember here is that when you are creating this report from scratch, you also have to work a lot of with data. In this previous example where Kevin showed you this, just a moment. Where Kevin showed you this Power BI report, it was automatically generated. But when you are doing this Power BI report yourself, you have to define these data sources. So you have to work more with data like formats. So let's take this. It was a SharePoint online list, and here we can we enter this list location or site where this list is located. And nowadays you can use this new API implementation version 2.0, and this opens you like two options. One is to retrieve all the data from SharePoint list, and that all the data usually means that this list that Kevin showed you was pretty small. It had like only like 5 or 6 these rows, but SharePoint itself saves a lot of additional metadata that's not shown. But when you take this complete list from here, SharePoint will grab all the data. Now you can also only grab the stuff that's defined as visible in SharePoint list. Okay, so let's go now, and now it opens up this location where we can choose the list that Kevin just showed you. So let's go. It was travel request, yeah. And here you can see it's already like previews you these fields. I will select it, and what's like the usual way is that you shouldn't load because these formats are not like proper usually. You need to hit here like transform data so that you can review your formats. And it's especially true when working with like international sites where you have different number formats, you have different those date formats. So you have to verify that those formats are okay and you can use those in your data. So now you see that we have a trip title, we have reason, we have created by, which is actually a list. So you have to like extract those values from here. I think I will do it this way, like in new rows, because it's only one person is created by, so it doesn't affect new rows. And here I can select name, which is in this data model is called title. So I will have the name here. Otherwise, I would have just some record or something like in my list. I have those date formats are okay. I don't need time, so I can delete time from here. From format, I will change type to date so that it will not store time information. It will improve a lot of if you need to connect to different data sources and on time dimension, then usually these times are connected to each other by date part. And if you have also like this time part here, it creates a lot of errors because you may have like a time difference from time zone differences, and if those like values do not like match exactly, it's a problem. So usually if that exact time is not important, I recommend you always use only this date part and delete the time part. So this one should be not text, it's definitely always should be whole number as its duration in days. And then we have estimated airfare. And here, usually you have to look at what kind of format there is, because you have to define the format, because in some regions, this comma separator is actually point. Here it's a comma, so you can say that, sorry, wrong button. We change type to by using locale. So we say that these values are actually decimal numbers in Estonia. So then it understands. Usually, if it's like you are making a regional report, it takes account of this like region that you have set in your computer. And when you get like data from, for example, SQL Server, then those commas are points actually, and you have to define that it's some American format or something else. Okay, so I will not concentrate on this anymore. I will go to now and load the data. So apply changes. Okay, it's loading data from SharePoint. Now, so here I have I have trip title. and I should have some cost also.
Estimated FR.
Estimated.
But you can see the first.
Estimated FR, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can have this kind of like as a table, but you can have a copy of that and turn it into a bar chart, and you can also have here a travel start date, for example, replace it by travel start date and say it's a year and month, and trip title we will remove, and then we see that in 2021 it's like almost 15K, and next year is not smaller because Kevin wants to visit Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can build this report very rapidly still, but it's still more work than this automatic report. Now, if you had this kind of report available to end users, you can add these PowerApps that you have in your organization. You can present those PowerApps already in your this Power BI report. And for example, I can put here a Power App and say that I want to use some fields in that Power App in background for data entry. And now I can choose an app that I will show. Okay, I'm just a user, so I don't see the app you show.
Yeah.
But let me. So I will take some other app. I just wanted to show that you can add an app here, and it will save her up. So I will skip that step. It wants me to go to PowerApps Studio and complete it because I added this ID field. So it wants to I use that ID field somewhere, but I don't need to use it in this demonstration. So I will just skip it. And now that no, somehow I would like to remove that. Yeah, notification. So I have a test application that's test. So so basically we use it very often in a workflow where you have to enter some kind of metadata into existing databases. For example, you have a ERP solution that you want to connect to CRM, and you want to create this reference table for IDs. Then you can have here like a list of IDs that you have in ERP and not existing in CRM, and a list of IDs that you have in CRM and not in ERP. For example, you can have those tables, and here you can go and enter the reference table and save it. And next time when data is loaded into your reporting solution, it already has this reference table for connecting data in different databases. So this is very easy to achieve that way. Yeah. Another quite new feature, I think it was also it's almost half a year old, but now it's also available straight in the user interface, is this Power Automate button. So you can have a Power Automate workflow straight from Power BI user interface. Here you also need to add some field that you want to use in your Power Automate workflow. For example, I want to use airline or something else. And now I can go and edit that Power Automate workflow. I have here also templates, just as Kevin showed you that if you start from scratch from a in a more ordinary workflow, like this approval stuff, here you also can have these templates, but for demonstration purposes, I just take a new instant cloud, and then it's like a button is clicked in Power BI. Now I can say that if someone clicks a button, they can go and take this, send an email. I think it was Outlook, was the name of that connector. And we can create a new email. Send an email. Mail. Send an email.
Nope.
Nope.
Try another action. Send an email. Just wall 2. It's easier.
I think I have to remove it. Yes.
Yeah. New step.
New step and
Send an email.
send this one.
Yeah. No. You can see all.
Oh, okay. Here already.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So here I can specify a name. I can send to Kevin, for example, or I can also take from this Power BI report this field if necessary. For example, here I can take this Power BI report BI data that I entered. There was a list. So the thing was that the data I selected may have more than one value. So it automatically converted it to a this loop that it will loop through all those like items and send an email. So it will send an email to this item, and here I can also go and define, hi Kevin. Sorry, I wrote your name with small letter, but I can change that. And now I can use the same. So I don't know, username probably it's probably me. Is username was looking at the report. A report and needs you to change settings for this Power BI data stuff, for example. So I think what was that one here? Data airline for and so if you have more airlines in that list, for example, you might have, if you have opened that, I will save that one. I mean, and if you have like here, you have like, I haven't selected any airlines yet.
Yeah.
So it will send you all those airlines now. But if I select here, make a selection, and then press a button, then it should send you only this one airline. So it should show me a button, but I don't know. Maybe I just was.
Send an email. No. Or apply to
each. I think it was one. Apply. I don't know what I did wrong. Oh, okay. It just wanted some apply button pressed. So now I have this button, and I can position it anywhere on this report. And when I make a selection, I can say it like send a report on. When I click it and say the name is button text, and send a change request for selected airlines. Okay, so the button text is not very visible, but basically you can have it here. Send now, for example, you can have a text box, next to button, or and we can and I have send now. Basically, I can select it and click it, and it's triggering. So I don't know what's happening. I haven't tried this specific right now, but anyway, so that's how easy it is actually to create a action button on a on a Power BI report.
Yeah,
you received already something?
Nope. Yeah, I see it. Japan Airlines. Hi, Kevin. Thomas Mattis was looking at the report and needs to change setting for Japan
Airlines. Yes, because I had this interesting, because I had dream travel to Japan. Okay, I had this item selected, yeah, and it has probably Japan Airlines.
Yeah,
in the back.
it's correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
If select all of those items, I guess I get several emails.
Yes, I will. So let's make this, put this airline here also, so we will see it. So we have Japan Airlines, but let's take Alaska and maybe Southwest also. We have like 2 selected now. Let's try again, and let's see what happens. Oh, I had to in this way. I have to control click. So it's triggered.
Is it control click?
In this report, when I haven't published it, I have to use control click.
Because in PowerApps we have alt click.
Oh, okay.
So you don't have to press play, but you press alt and you just.
Okay. So here it's maybe alt also works. I haven't tried. I have always used control. Okay. But what does it have in that email now?
I received 2 emails.
Okay. So we have for every separate occasion, it created a new email.
So for each.
Yes.
It shows me Alaska Air and it showed me Southwest Thomas selected.
Okay.
So
yeah,
cool.
One more thing that I wanted to show you was related to this visual part. Kevin showed you how you can change the button, basically button text, by using 2 different buttons based on some value. So here visible status. Yeah. So in Power BI, you can do the same kind of stuff, so that if you take this, I think it was this kind of tool, and bookmarks. So, for example, I have here data, but I need to do data entry, and this data entry actually sometimes it isn't as small as this app might be a lot larger, and it covers a lot of your how to say screen space, and you want to manage it better. I don't know.
I guess it's portrait mode, so.
Yeah, it's portrait mode right now, but basically, if you like have a larger application,
you might have.
Yes. So I will add here a bookmark. So app open. And now I select the app and I deselected visibility. And now I had a new bookmark app. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So it's app closed. So, and now I can switch between those. Now it opens the app, and now app is not visible.
Can you also add a button that changes it automatically?
Yes, I can change but the technique is saying that I actually had to have 2 buttons. So one button is visible. But what we can do is that, for example, if I have this app open, I might also want to. Maybe I can have it this way, a little bit larger.
Maybe some rectangle.
Yeah, I will make it in the center. I will add here a rectangle. Insert shape rectangle, and I will cover that one here. And make it transparent a little bit. Okay, I think it's okay. And now I can go and move that shape down so that, and I will move the Power Automate button also downwards. So this is like how it will look like when the app is open. Now I will update the view. And now I will go to closed app, and I will also make this shape invisible and will update view. And now I can switch. So this is like app open, and it like covers a little bit all those report below, so you understand that this report is not available right now, and you can have app closed, and you can put a button here, and let's see if I have a button, and you can have a blank button, and this app button is created here. Okay, and let's have a text here, button text tools, and then I have button action is on, and the button action is bookmark, and bookmark is app closed.
Oh, yeah. That's...
So, for example, now I have app open. I click here, and it will close it. So now I have to hide this button also because it's a closed button. So I will close that button, hide that button also, and I will update this bookmark, and then I go, and here I can also add another button and say it's like another bookmark. So I have here now it's like it shows this close button.
Can you copy the close button?
Yes, I can copy it. So I copy it, Control copy. I will go to this view, add.
You have it hidden.
No, it created a new one, so it will show it. So it's I will have it open, and here I also can change, I think maybe it's button open, so that I will know that it's this one. And button up, and I will have this action as app open. And I think I have to update this is app closed. I will update just in case. I will update that view. And now when I click it, here I have to select this one and update view. So now this button should work. Let's try Alt. Alt doesn't work.
Doesn't work. Okay.
It's Control.
Straight.
So Control. So
cool. That's cool.
Yeah. So and you can also put all those Power BI reports within PowerApps also. So
basically, if you have like this send the change request for selected airlines, you could make some kind of confirmation pop-up for the user in this way. It presses this button that it asks, "Are you sure?" and just confirmation screen. Or confirmation.
No. It already triggers this flow. It can.
But you don't put this button that here. This button.
Yes.
You put it on this pop-up, not on the screen. On the screen, you put some kind of random button that opens this pop-up.
Yes. Yeah. You can do this one. Yeah. So are you sure? Basically, and that actually the next button actually is the one that actually has a trigger. Yeah. Because this button will have only then just to change the view bookmark. Yeah.
That confirmation button saves a lot sometimes.
Yeah. A lot of trouble.
Yeah. But sometimes you don't actually read it, and you make a mistake.
Yeah, I don't think if I can just add the confirmation here. So button text is visible. Yeah. Field title.
But you could just add this button to this box?
Yes, yeah. You create this Power Automate button as a separate button. So
yeah.
And okay. So
Cool.
this is it. So it's like 1:10. I think we still have some time.
Yeah.
I will talk about pricing also that we promised. Let me see.
Also, Thomas.
Okay. Camera is connected to it then.
Oh, okay.
So let me talk about pricing a little bit. So first I will talk about Power BI pricing, and then about other products, because Power BI is the oldest product in this set and it has quite a complex pricing nowadays. To start with Power BI desktop and Power BI in general, it's very easy. A lot of tools that are in Power BI are very common of Excel. So if you have used Excel, particularly new Excel version starting from 2019, then a lot of tools, a lot of buttons are the same in Power BI. The data acquisition tools and data management tools are the same. So it's very easy to start. Power BI desktop itself is for free. You don't have to pay anything for that. You just go to Microsoft Store and activate it from there, and it's there. You can download Power BI desktop from Power BI website also, but I recommend using this Microsoft Store because Power BI desktop is updated so frequently that it's better to have that updated from store, and you don't have to worry that if some colleague of yours shares with you this Power BI file, you cannot read it, or if you download this file from Power BI this portal, it's a newer version than your Power BI desktop version supports. So I recommend using that one from Microsoft Store. Now, when you have created your first report and you want to automate its refresh, you want to view that report from your mobile phone, then you can upload that report to Power BI portal, and that is called Power BI Free, and it's a portal service where you can connect to data sources that Power BI report and start consuming it. But it's personal. When you want to do cooperation of your colleagues to share report, to be able to see those reports that others have shared, you need at least a pro license. And that pro license also opens up a lot of security functionality, which is usually not required when you are not cooperating. And this is like this €8.40 per user per month. If you are a developer and you want to do more complex reports and do reports that you want to make printouts all the time, and your models are very, very large and you want to edit your reports, this data model directly in Power BI service, then you need premium per user license, and that enables you to have data models up to 100 gigabytes. And in desktop, I think the limit to how big a Power BI desktop file can be is like 16 gigabytes or something like that. So if your model is very large, you already cannot edit in Power BI desktop and download it for editing. So you need to edit that data model straight from Power BI portal, and this is what Premium enables you to do. Now, if you have a lot of users, hundreds of users, they are not accessing those reports very often, but you have hundreds of users and you don't want to buy a pro license or premium license for every one of them, then you have those like capacity licenses where you buy this server capacity from Microsoft side, And here you have several options. One option is to use Power BI embedded from Azure, which means that you will attach Power BI embedded resource to your desktop, this Power BI report, and users who consume those reports from SharePoint or some other web portal will be able to access those reports, and Microsoft doesn't count users, how many users you have, but it counts how much resources are assigned to your Power BI report, and that's it. So majority of our customers who have hundreds of users can start with the smallest capacity, which is like 640 euros approximately per month. If you have more users, more frequent access, then you can add capacity. Next step is Power BI Premium, and this is usually for larger organizations. This is you have a lot more resources there. It's like a larger capacity, and you will also have Power BI interface for every user. So this is the main difference between embedded and premium, is that in embedded, you don't have this Power BI, all those menus that are in Power BI portal, you have only this report. With Power BI Premium, every user will also have those menus if necessary. And this Power BI Premium also includes right to use Microsoft SQL Server for on-premises reports. And this brings us to this third option, which is Power BI Report Server, part of SQL Server Enterprise. And their minimum price, if you are renting it, is like 1,300 euros per month. And that includes SQL Server, plus all those SQL Server services that you have in background, and also Power BI Report Server that you can use to connect to and consume Power BI reports. Usually this Power BI Report Server doesn't have exactly the same. Sorry, I have to drink something. This Power BI Report Server doesn't have exactly the same functionality that Power BI Web Service has, because this Power BI Web Service develops at a much faster rate. But if your security requirements are that the report data may never exit your organization perimeter, then this is basically the only option. Then we are talking about flow. So if you are using flow, this is like this CD flow. If you are using Power Automate data sources from Microsoft Office 365 or Dynamics 365, then this Power Automate is for free. If you need to use data sources from others like web services or SQL Server or something that's not part of Microsoft 365 infrastructure, then you need premium licenses. And if you have per user license, that means 15 euros per user. Or you can have a different licensing scheme where you have one flow, Power Automate flow, and a limited number of users. Here are some restrictions. If you have unlimited number of users and per flow, then there's like a minimum of 5 flows. Is like so, but basically the price per flow is 85 euros. So this is like this flow licensing. If you are using PowerApps, which we talked today a lot, then there are also like premium licenses. And if you're using PowerApps Office 365 data or Dynamics 365 data, then it's for free. And you can also use in this PowerApps data from Power Automate. If you're using flows for managing those resources that you already have paid for in PowerApps, then you don't have to pay on top in Power this Automate. Okay, so I hope it was understandable. In PowerApps, the pricing is has the same logic. You have per user plan and per app plan. The name is a little bit confusing because per app means that it's one user, one app, and per user plan means that you have one user and unlimited apps. And here Microsoft just changed its licensing in a way that in this per app plan for the same $10 or €8.44 or whatever currently is this exchange rate, you actually have right for 2 apps. So it used to be one user, one app. Now it's one user, 2 apps. And it's half the price basically, but still the minimum is like $8.44 or something like that. So it's $8.40 or depends on exchange rate. So, and if you buy this per user plan, there you have pay $40 and you have unlimited number of apps that user can use. So what usually happens is that when we are starting those small apps and small workflows, then we can reuse that Office 365 infrastructure, and those apps do not require additional licensing. And when these apps become more complex, organizations get more value from those apps, then you can add additional licenses and start paying for those licenses. But otherwise, if you start small, you use easy data sets, small apps, you don't have to pay anything on top. And when it's
example,
complex,
if you want to use AI solutions,
AI,
it's premium.
Yes, it's premium, and so this is like because these AI solutions usually consume also some resources.
Yeah.
So, for example, you have, I think it was something like that. But when, for example, if you have this form analysis to analyze like invoices or some other forms, then it was calculation was per page, and 5,000 pages was something like €500 or something like that. So it's like a 10 cents per page or something like that. So it's
more.
It's not much if you calculate this way. It's just a starting price, like €500 per month. Is like a hard, but you can also use cognitive services where you start from zero and you use you pay just per this recognition of form.
Yep.
So that was the part about licensing, but every time you consider this licensing and you consider what you should do, please contact us and we will discuss what are the requirements for your app, and we can optimize this way the amount required to manage those apps. And you can start very small with almost no recurring cost, and when you achieve more value from your apps, then of course it's not a problem to pay for those. And €10 or €8 per user per month isn't actually much, because it's like 2 lunches or something like that is per user per month, so it shouldn't be too restrictive.
Yeah.
Thank you very much and see you soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.